Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are going to talk about Title 2 of the revised Penal Code which talks about persons criminally liable for felonies. So for this video, we are going to talk about Article 16 basically, no? So Article 16 talks about who are criminally liable. So the following are criminally liable for grave and less grave felonies. So number 1 is principal, second is accessories, and the third one, second one is accomplice, and the third one is accessories. And then the following are criminally liable for light felonies. First one is the principals, and the second one is the accomplice.
Sa light felony, hindi na criminally liable or hindi na sinali yung accessories dito.
So the treble division of persons criminally liable. So treble division of persons criminally responsible for an offense rests upon the very nature of their participation in the commission of the crime. So when a crime is committed by many without being equally shared by all, a different degree of responsibility is imposed upon each and every one of them. So in that case, they are criminally liable either as principals, accomplice, or accessories. So why do we need to know, or why do we need to classify if a person is a principal, an accomplice, or an accessory?
So, kailangan natin i-classify yung participation ng isang tao sa crime, whether he or she is a principal, an accomplice, or accessory. Kasi, there are different sanctions or penalties based on the degree of participation of the crime. So, for example, if you are a principal of a certain crime and then the crime you committed has a penalty of life imprisonment, so for example, but when you are just an accomplice or an accessory, so maaaring lower yung penalty na may impose sa iyo kasi you're not a principal of the crime, you're just an accessory, you're just an accomplice. So, kailangan nating i-classify kung saan ka or kung ang offender is nabilong ba siya sa principal, accomplice, or accessories kasi iba't iba yung degree ng punishment sa tatlo. So, necessary yun. So, ganun.
So, accessories are not liable for light felonies.
So, under Article 16, sinabi niya sa second paragraph niya, nag-enumerate siya na dalawa lang yung criminally liable for light felonies, and those were the principals and the accomplice. Hindi na niya sinali yung accessories.
So, in the view of omission of accessories in naming those liable for light felonies, the accessories are not liable for light felonies. So the reason for this is that in the commission of light felonies, the social wrong as well as the individual prejudice is so small that penal sanction is deemed not necessary for accessory.
So the reason why in case of light felonies, hindi na liable yung accessories is that konting-konti lang yung nagawa or very light lang yung nagawa niyang crime or very light lang yung participation niya to the point na hindi na kailangan ng sanction for that specific crime. So, yun yung reason niya.
So, rules relative to light felonies. So, may mga rules tayo na. So, light felonies are punishable only when they have been consummated.
So, I already discussed this one. Why is light felonies punishable only when they are consummated and the reason for its exemption? So, you might want to check it out. This is under my video on Article 7, I guess. It's Article 7 of the RPC. I'll just write the link on the description box, okay? So, again, number 1, light felonies are punishable only when they have been consummated. So, consummated lang kasi, di ba, sa sobrang liit niya, hindi na kailangan ng sanction. So, ganun yon. So,
second one is, but when light felonies are committed against persons or property, they are punishable even if they are only in the attempted or frustrated stage of the execution.
So, bakit siya may exemption dito? So, when light felonies is committed against persons or property. So even though hindi siya consummated, even frustrated siya or attempted, is still punishable pa rin siya. So the reason behind this is again is stated or explained under my video about light felonies. Yeah, when light felonies are punishable. Yata yun sa Article 7.
And the third one is only principals and accomplice are liable for light felonies. So this is stated in this article, Article 16. And the fourth one is that accessories are not liable for light felonies even if they are committed against persons or property. So this is stated again in Article 16. So the second paragraph. So these are the four rules relative to light felonies. Now let's talk about subject of the crime, no? So we have two subjects, the active subject and the passive subject of crime. So in crimes, so there are always two parties.
So the first one is the active subject. So active subject refers to the criminal. So yung mga taong gumawa ng offenses which is punishable under RPC, or yes, yung mga taong liable for a certain crime.
Okay? And then we have the passive subject, or these are the injured party.
Yung mga ginawa ng masama or mga victim or yung mga na-injured. Yun, ganon.
So Article 16 of the Code enumerates the active subjects of the crime. So yung yung under sa Article 16, those are the active subjects of the crime. The first one is the principal, the second is the accomplice, and the third one is the accessories. So yun. So only natural persons can be active subject of crime. So only natural persons can be the active subject of a crime because of the highly personal nature of the criminal responsibility. Since a felony is a punishable act or omission which produces or tends to produce a change in the external world, it follows that only a natural person can be the active subject of the crime because he alone by his act can set in motion a cause, or by his inaction can make possible the completion of a developing modification in the external world.
So meaning, natural persons lang yung natural persons lang yung pwedeng maging active subject of the crime. So natural persons means tayo, yung mga living things. No, not specifically animals and plants, no, they are also living things. I mean, tao na physically alive and kicking, yung parang gano'n. I mean, natural persons lang, no? So, sa civil law nyo, na-discuss ata to, yung two persons. So, we have natural person, which refers to us. And then the second one is we have the juridical persons, or those artificial persons na naging persons lang. It's because yung personality nila is granted by the law. So, parang gano'n. So, yung juridical persons, ito yung mga naging person sila so that they have the right to sue, and they also have the right to be sued. But in criminal cases, they cannot be an active subject of the crime. Why? Kasi yung crime kasi is intent or personal mo siyang ginawa or motive. So, example ng juridical persons are those corporations or company. No? So, paano magkakaroon ng intent yung corporations or company? Wala naman silang puso, no? Wala silang own brain. They are not capable of doing such things which human can do, such as yung freedom natin na pumili ng gagawin natin. Ganun, wala silang ganun. So binigyan lang sila ng personality by law. So ganun yun.
So only natural persons can be the offender because, so these are the reasons. So the RPC requires that the culprit should have acted with personal malice or negligence. An artificial or juridical person cannot act with malice or negligence.
So ito yung sinasabi ko, no? So a corporation cannot act with malice or negligence kasi wala naman silang sariling utak, wala naman silang sariling puso. So paano sila mag-a-act? So parang ganon.
And then the second one is the juridical person like corporation cannot commit a crime in which a willful purpose or a malicious intent is required.
So, So, sa crime kasi, para makommit is required kasi yung intent, no? Malicious intent. So, walang ganun sa corporation. So hindi sila magiging active subject for the crime. So, this is stated under the case of West Coast Life Insurance Corporation ata versus Hurd. Yeah.
And then the third one is that there is substitution of deprivation of liberty or subsidiary imprisonment or pecuniary penalties in case of insolvency of the accused. So the code requires that the culprit should have acted with personal malice or negligence, and artificial or juridical persons cannot act with malice or negligence. So a corporation could not have committed a crime in which a willful purpose or a malicious intent was required. So there is a substitution of deprivation of liberty or subsidiary imprisonment or pecuniary penalties in cases of insolvency.
So for example, kung magiging active subject ng crime yung corporation, so paano mo siya ikukulong? 'Di ba? Wala namang buhay no yung corporation, and the reason of imprisonment is for correction, 'di ba? Parang kapag pinapalo tayo ng magulang natin, so it serves as parang matatakot tayo, or sa susunod hindi ko na siya gagawin kasi may specific penalty ako kapag ginawa ko siya. So para gano'n. So yung purpose ng person is para makorek tayo. So in the near future, hindi na natin gagawin ulit yun kasi may punishment na nag-aabang sa atin kapag ginawa natin yun. So paano ma-implement yun sa corporation? Kapag kinulong sila, may kukulong yung buildings or yung mga ganong establishment. So that is useless. So that's why corporation is hindi siya maging subject ng active subject ng crime, or those what we call the criminal.
And then the last reason is that other penalties consisting in imprisonment and other deprivation of liberty like distillero can be executed only against individuals. So
ito yung sinasabi ko. So sa mga tao or sa human beings lang naman ma-execute yung imprisonment. Ay man, magagawa ka ng kulungan for corporation. That's very useless, no? So yun yung mga reasons kung bakit and juridical persons like corporations are not active subject of a crime. So, since hindi mo makukulong yung corporations or mai-jail mo yung corporations kasi building nga siya, no? So, paano mo siya makukulong or paano mo siya makakorek? So, in this case, the officers, not the corporation, are criminally liable. So, kung sino yung tao sa korporasyon na yon, sila yung magiging liable, not the corporation itself. So, yun.
So, the officers, not the corporation, are criminally liable. So, if the crime is committed by a corporation or other juridical entity, the directors, officers, employees, or other officers thereof responsible for the offense shall be charged and penalized for the crime precisely because of the nature of the crime and the penalty therefore. A corporation cannot be arrested and imprisoned, no? Hence, cannot be penalized for a crime punishable by imprisonment. So,
since hindi mo makukulong yung establishment or your corporations, no? So, corporations cannot be penalized for a crime which is punishable by punishment. So, this is stated under the case of Ong versus Court of Appeals.
So, since corporations cannot be proceeded against criminally because it cannot commit crime in which personal violence or malicious intent is required, criminal action is limited to the corporate agents guilty of an act amounting to a crime and never against the corporation itself. This is cited in the case of West Coast Life Insurance Corporation versus Hurd Supra.
So since hindi mo since hindi mo mapapunish or may imprison yung corporation, so dun yung mga tao which is criminally liable dun sa nagtatrabaho sa corporations or sila yung nagpa-facilitate sa corporation, sila yung magiging criminally liable.
So, juridical persons are criminally liable under certain special laws. So, under BP Building 68, Corporation Codes of the Philippines, Commission Act, number 146, or what we call Public Service Law, the Securities Laws, and the Election Code, corporations may be fined for certain violations of their provisions.
So, yun yung mga special laws which are specifically given or mga laws in which mapapunish yung juridical persons, no? Pero hindi naman sila makukulong, so there would be tama ba? So, there would be a fine lang, no? Fines, ganon. yung ipapataw sa kanila.
So, only the officers of the corporation who participated either as principals by direct participation or principal by induction or by cooperation or as accomplice in the commission of an act punishable by law are liable. So,
Again, yung mga officers lang, dun sa corporation, sila yung magiging liable, hindi yung corporation itself.
So, example for that is the partnership of M, A, and B was granted a franchise to operate an electric plant. C, wife of M, was the manager of the business. M and his son installed electric wires in the houses of their customers. A boy who was with his father for the purpose of buying salted fish happened to hold the uninsulated portion of an electric wire and the electric plant managed by C. As the wire was charged with electricity, the boy was electrocuted and consequently died. So it was held that there is no evidence at all that C directly took part or aided in the careless installation of the electric wire. A portion which was negligently left uninsulated by M and his son. As a general rule, a director or other officer of a corporation is criminally liable for his acts, though in his official capacity, if he participated in the unlawful act either directly or as an aider, abettor, or accessory, but is not criminally liable for the corporate acts performed by other officers or agents thereof. So the ruling enunciated in the case of West Coast Life Insurance Corporation versus Hurd to effect that criminals' actions are restricted or limited to the officials or corporation and never against itself, indicates the procedure to be taken in criminal action when an official or of a corporation is involved but does not point his degree of participation in order to hold him liable for a certain criminal act as such corporate officials. So this is cited under the case of People versus Abdona A. Montilla.
So, yung liable lang siya is yung crime in which nag-participate yung certain directors or officers, na hindi siya liable sa crime na in which na wala namang evidence sa kanyang participation. So, parang ganun.
So, manager of partnership is liable even if there is no evidence of his participation in the commission of the offense. So,
Sa corporation, so yung mga tao niya or mga officers na hindi magiging liable kung walang direct participation or walang evidence. Dito naman sa partnership is yung manager niya is liable pa rin siya even if there is no evidence at all or there is no evidence na nag-participate siya sa commission ng crime.
So, in the prosecution for a violation of Section 170, Paragraph 2 of the National Internal Revenue Code, the manager of the partnership is criminally liable even in the absence of evidence regarding his direct participation in the commission of the offense. It is a settled rule that since a corporation or partnership can act through its officers and their agent, the president or manager can be held criminally liable for the violation of a law by the entity. So this is cited in the case of People versus Lao Chio, citing the case of People versus Manuel Cartesiano. So under the motor vehicle law, the president and general manager of a corporation which violated the motor vehicle law was held criminally liable for the offense imputable to the corporation. This is cited in the case of People versus Cartesiano. So, now let's go to the passive subject of the crime. So, yun yung So again, yung active subjects ng crime are the principals, accomplice, and the accessories. And now let's go to the passive subject of the crime or those persons na na-injured, no? Na-injured sa it's because of the crime na na-commit. Sila yung mga victim na injured. Ba ganon. So the passive subject of a crime is the holder of the injured right, the man, the juristic person, the group, and the state. Thus, while a corporation or partnership cannot be active subject, it can be a passive subject of the crime. So,
even though yung corporation or juridical persons, hindi sila magiging active subject ng crime, is because wala naman silang utak or again, puso na kailangan ng intention or malicious intent sa pag-commit ng crime. So, hindi sila maaaring maging active subject of the crime, but they can be a passive subject of the crime kasi pwede naman silang makatanggap ng injury from those person who commit a crime. So, pwede sila maging passive subject of the crime, no? Yung corporations or any juridical person. So, yun yun.
a corpse ba? A corpse or animal cannot be a passive subject.
So, yung mga patay or animals, hindi sila maaaring maging passive subjects.
So the reason for that is that animals have no rights that may be injured.
So, walang karapatan. Wala bang karapatan yung mga animals? So, this is the general rule. So, again, we have an exemption for this.
So under Article 353, the crime of defamation may be committed in the imputation tends to blacken the memory of one who is dead. So, ayun yun. So, again, this video is in overview or papunta na tayo sa topic ng principles, accomplice, or accessory. So, this is the Title 2 of the RPC, which is the persons criminally liable for felonies. And this is Article 16. And under Article 16, it enumerates the active subject of the crime, which are the principles, accomplice, and accessories. And on the second paragraph of Article 16, hindi magiging criminally liable yung accessories for light felonies. So, this ends my video. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe on my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye!